as we transition here, we're going to understand why that is. Fundamentally, the human body is an electrical system doing chemical reactions. These cells have to be powered by electricity for anything to work at all. There's a lot of discussion about how the mitochondria generates energy in the body, but there has to be electricity to these mitochondria for them to work. There has to be electricity to the DNA of the nucleus of the cell for it to do its work. There has to be electrical activity. And we all know this. You know, if you get hooked up to an EKG or an EEG, you see the electrical activity. The human body is an electrical system doing chemical reactions. And I think most people don't fully understand that they have a constant need to regenerate this battery because it's constantly being drained. Everything you literally do, whether it's eating, whether it's drinking, whether it's walking, talking, sleeping, laughing, crying, exercising, smoking, just daily life is physical work. And physical work requires calories to be burned, heat to be produced, and that requires electricity. So anything you do is draining your battery. Physical work, this physical work of doing things every day, is inflammation. Your body is creating heat. It creates inflammation when it does any work. When it burns calories, there's a fire, literally, that's created in the mitochondria. And we've even seen electromicrographs of what the brain neuron looks like when the mitochondria in the neuron are fired. Literally, the infrared spectrum of that is red and orange. The brain burns red and orange when it's doing its activity. That's inflammation. So you cannot reduce inflammation by doing more work. It just doesn't make any sense. You cannot recharge your battery by eating food. Food creates inflammation. Processing food creates inflammation. Drinking coffee, drinking tea, taking vitamin and mineral supplements, eating superfoods, exercising, taking hormones, all of these things are physical work, require physical work, and they create inflammation. These things are inflammatory. It's very simple, but the messaging isn't quite getting out there. I remember first hearing, the root cause of disease is inflammation, but what causes inflammation? Physical work in your body, whether it's mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, any physical work you do is inflammatory. So how do we reduce the inflammation? We reduce the amount of work that we're doing, and we sustain and support electrical flow without doing work, which is what we're going to talk about. This is where the humic substances, the fulvic substances, come into play. It is impossible to recharge your battery with the very things that are draining the charge. You have to contain the fire. You have to reduce the fire. Once the fire has been started, taking a bunch of antioxidants and a bunch of polyphenols is not going to contain the fire. The answer to containing the fire is to do things that are going to recharge your battery, which is the water that Dr. Faust talked about, and the fulvic acids, the fulvic substances. These are the things that are recharging your battery.